I would like to make a deal, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way.
The US has just executed a massive strategic shift, and Greenland is at the center of it. What triggered this sudden push, and why, out of all places on Earth, is Greenland suddenly so critical to global power politics? Let's decode this. It all began with a dramatic American military operation in Venezuela that ousted its president Nicolas Maduro and sent a clear message to the whole world. The United States is prepared to use force to shape foreign policy outcomes. Within days of that action, Donald Trump escalated his long-running calls for the United States to acquire Greenland, territory that has been repeatedly rejected by both Greenlandic and Danish leaders. Experts now say the Venezuela raid was not an isolated event, but a signal that Trump's foreign doctrine is shifting from rhetoric to reality, putting aggressive power projection back at the center of US strategy. Trump has framed his Greenland push as a matter of national security. He says Greenland must be controlled by the US to prevent Russia or China from gaining influence in the Arctic, warning that if the US does not act, rival powers will take over the island. In public remarks, he even said the United States will pursue this objective whether they like it or not, suggesting both diplomatic and harder options are on the table. So, why Greenland? These three core drivers I've come up with will help explain its newfound importance. 1. Strategic location. Greenland sits astride the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans at a choke point known as the GI-UK Gap, a corridor that is critical for monitoring naval and aerial movements between North America and Europe. It hosts a US military installation under a 1951 treaty, but Trump argues mere presence is not enough. Full control, he claims, would give the US unrivaled leverage over Arctic security. 2. Great power competition. The Arctic is no longer a remote backwater. Russia has expanded its Arctic footprint, and China styles itself as a near-Arctic state with ambitions for new sea routes and resource access. Now, Trump's advisors argue that full control of Greenland would keep those rival powers from gaining a foothold, a rationale he tied directly to, yes, national security again. And third, resource wealth and climate change. Greenland is rich in strategic minerals and natural resources, including rare earths that are essential for modern technology, electric vehicles, and defense systems. Melting Arctic ice, a consequence of climate change, is making parts of these reserves more reachable. While Trump himself has downplayed mineral motives, analysts and advisors admit that these economic factors underpin US interest. These three factors, location, competition, and resources, explain why Greenland has rocketed from a theoretical curiosity to a geopolitical flashpoint. But wait, there's more. European allies, particularly Denmark, have been unequivocal. Greenland is not for sale, and any attempt to seize it would fracture NATO's cohesion and shake the post-World War II security order. Leaders from France, Germany, Britain, and Denmark released a joint statement insisting Greenland's future is for Denmark and Greenland alone to decide. For Greenlanders themselves, Trump's rhetoric is not abstract geopolitics. It is a challenge to their autonomy and national identity. Most oppose becoming part of the United States, viewing the takeover talk as disrespectful to their sovereignty. So, what do we see? Primarily, that whatever triggered this race was not a single event, but a pattern. Aggressive US foreign policy that began with decisive action in Venezuela and quickly expanded to global arenas where strategic advantage, not just alliances, is the prize. Greenland's moment has arrived because climate change, resource competition, and military strategy have collided in a way that makes the island unexpectedly central to 21st century power projection. What happens next remains to be seen. Until next time, stay tuned.